Hello YouTube, TECHISMASONxx here, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a review over the OPPO Find 7a. Let's get to it. Now the OPPO Find 7a was released by a company named OPPO. If you don't know what it is, this phone was released next to its twin brother with a little, even though the twin brother does have better specs, it has a better processor and a 2K display, while this just has a little bit slower processor and a 1080p display. But yeah, that's what this phone is. It's $100 cheaper, but it still deserves a review. So let me go ahead and get started. First thing I want to talk about is the design. Now this thing is a really nice phone. It's designed very nicely. It has a 5.5 inch 1080p display, so the display does look good. You can't say that since it's not the 2K display on the higher end version that it still doesn't look good, because in my opinion they both are too small enough to tell the difference. Like, you can't see the pixels with the human eye, so they do look pretty good. The colors look very nice. Some people say that the blue was too much, but in my opinion I don't really think that. It just looks the same to me. The whites look white and the blues look blue. The greens look green. So yeah, that's what it is. The colors look very nice and the display just looks pretty good. Now, like I said earlier, this is a 5.5 inch display, which is very big, and so many people came up to me asking to see my phone just because how big it is. And this thing is surprisingly thin compared to how big it is compared to other phones like the Galaxy Mega. This phone is really thin, and that's what I really like about it. It actually helps make it feel good in the hand. And with me, even though I'm not sure if I have big hands or not, I can really handle the phone really nicely in my hands. It's really nice to handle. It's not hard. It's not hard for me to reach anything on the display. Depending on how I'm holding it, playing games, everything on here is comfortable to me. And ever since I started using this 5.5 inch display, it's like I can't go back to a smaller screen like the old phone I was using. Like an iPhone, that's just miniature to me. So I don't know how I'm going to switch back to other phones over time after using this device. But you know, just have to adapt to changes, I guess. But the glass on the screen is made out of Gorilla Glass 3, so it will be very hard to crack. At least it should be very hard to crack. Actually, today I actually did drop my phone on the floor. I was already sitting in the desk, and my phone was on the desk, and I just tipped it off the desk, and boom, it came off. The back came off, and I turned it over, and it was perfectly nice. There's no scratches, no anything. So the Gorilla Glass 3 did last. I guess that was a little small drop test, I guess, but it is very durable. And even though the back came off, everything was still intact. The battery was still in. It's basically like nothing ever happened to the phone. So it is very durable, and the design is very nice. Let's go ahead and talk about the speed on this device. It is powered by a Snapdragon 801 processor clocked at 2.3 GHz with 2 GB of RAM, so I guess you should already expect that the phone runs pretty good, and it actually does. This phone is very snappy. I rarely get lag. Like if I show you right now, I am not getting any lag. Everything is really smooth, and I really never had a problem with that. I'm playing games, everything is smooth, and everything is smooth with the specs. I guess, like I said, these are flagship specs, so you shouldn't really expect anything lower than that. But yeah, like I said, everything is smooth and it runs nice, so the speed is very good. Apps open almost instantly, so you really don't have to worry about the phone being slow. Now, another big thing with this phone was the thing about the camera. Now, if you haven't already, I've posted a camera test where I show 4K video and the 50 megapixel pictures that it has. So you can go back and check that out by clicking the annotation that I'm showing here. But yes, this is a very nice phone. The camera is pretty good, and I should be showing some pictures right now to just test it and show you a clip of video. But like I said, go check it out, my other video, if you want to see more of that. But yes, this is supposedly supposed to shoot 50 megapixel pictures, but in my experience, I would say that the pictures are really not really that good. Like 50 megapixels, it's not really a 50 megapixel picture. It's like they take separate pictures, they stitch them together, and they make it a 50 megapixel picture. And they do that just to make it look sharp, and the way that it does it, it is sharper indeed, but it's not that much sharper than if you're taking a normal picture. So, and it also takes longer to take the 50 megapixel picture. So me, I wouldn't really waste my time doing that. I would say it's a gimmick, but some people actually do like it. Myself, it's not really that much a difference to me. I can still zoom in and see the difference, and it actually kind of looks better without the 50 megapixel picture, just in some ways, like the color, the sharpness, just some stuff like that. But as I'm saying, you can see the pictures on the screen now, so you can judge it by yourself. Now on the other hand, the 4K video is very nice. Like I said, you can go check out my camera test to see a more in-depth test, but this thing is very nice. I was even considering using this instead of my DSLR, but like I said, a DSLR video cannot really be beat by a phone video. But if you know how to use a phone video and you know how to make sure focus is set, exposure is not overexposed or it's not underexposed, you can get some very nice video with this. Now, while 4K video doesn't have image stabilizations, you do need something to kind of stabilize it, like an eye stabilizer adapter for a tripod that I have and I use to get my shots. Or if you use it handheld, you really should have steady hands, or your video will be really shaky, which doesn't make the video look good. So if you don't have any way, I still recommend you use 1080p video, which does have image stabilization. But yeah, the 4K video is very nice, and that's not a gimmick at all. Another good feature about this phone is that it does have support for LTE in the United States. So if your phone service does support LTE, then you won't be disappointed with the speeds that you get. And actually for me, the speeds outside of my house were much faster than the speed that I was getting inside of the house. I guess it was just depending on the area, but this actually works out better for me since when I'm at home, I'm going to be using Wi-Fi anyway, so I really don't need fast speeds in the inside of my house. But that really just depends on your service that you have. I'm using T-Mobile and I got tremendous speeds. Now those were the three main things that I wanted to talk about and point out on the phone, and now I'm just going to give my overall opinion over it. It is a very nice phone for the price. $500, it is lower than all of the flagship phones out, like the Samsung Galaxy S5 going for about $650 to $700, the HTC M8 going about $650 as well, and this thing only goes for $500 with some nice specs. And I really like this phone, but it just has some really bad things that are going on with it. I'm going to explain that now. If you haven't seen my video earlier where I talked about the supercharging effect that it has, which I also should talk about now, the supercharging effect makes the battery charge to 75% in 30 minutes, and yes, that really did work. It didn't really get to 75% on my test in my other video. It got to about 70% in 30 minutes, but it's still a very fast charging time. But I guess since it charged very fast, it also drained very fast. And when I was getting this phone, I saw that it had 2 batteries, and since they were including 2 batteries, that kind of made me think, I hope the battery life isn't bad. And when I got it, the battery life was bad. Now I would say that this phone really doesn't do a good job handling battery. I don't know if it's the software or it's just the phone itself that's making the battery drain faster than normal, but I could say I'll get through the day. Like, I'm still on my 30% now because I don't really use the phone as heavily on A days in school than I do on B days. But usually the phone would die earlier in the day without me being able to use it completely, and I'd have to switch out batteries, which I do carry in my wallet. But the battery life isn't as great. I want to say it's terrible, but it's not as good as I would expect it to be since it has 2,800 milliamps of battery. Now, no, not all phones came with 2 batteries. I just have mine with 2 batteries because I did pre-order my phone, so it came with 2 batteries. I'm kind of glad that that happened because without the 2 batteries, I probably wouldn't get through most of my days with this phone. But the battery life wasn't a good thing, and I guess it could improve if they did something with their software. And I actually did get some updates. I don't know what if it was for the device or for the software. I'm not sure. I got 2 updates already, and I could say that the battery life has improved over time, but I hope it keeps improving because as of now, the battery life isn't so great. But that was just one thing that was bad about the phone. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the rest, minor things that really don't bring down the phone. Like I said, the battery life really does bring down the phone, and that's like the main thing that will keep me from using this as my daily driver. Now, the other cons that I wanted to talk about was some things that was happening on my phone. Something like Google Play would open for no reason. Like on this phone, if I say, "Hey Snapdragon," it should open to Google Play. As you can see, it didn't even open. But sometimes randomly I'll have it on my desk and then it'll just open because it hears something loud. Like if I play my computer, I'm listening to music, Google Play will just randomly open for no reason. I'm not sure why that happens, but it just happens. And then on the other hand, Google Play doesn't even work. It's like every time I ask it something, it says, "Sorry, I didn't understand that." And I'm actually going to show you that right now, give you a slight test. How old is Kobe Bryant? Can all dogs swim? What's the weather? Oh my gosh. And it doesn't even want to open. But anyway, like I was saying, the Google Play rarely works, and then for some reason when I search something, I would say, "What's the weather outside?" That's the only thing that has actually worked for me, and it'll give me the correct weather. It's a nice voice that goes with it. Doesn't really sound robotic or anything. The voice was really nice, but other questions like YouTube, or say something like, "How old is Kobe Bryant?" I will not get any good test. It'll just show a different language. I'm not sure if it's Chinese, Japanese, but it'll just show a different language, and I know I did not say anything Japanese, so why is it showing a different language? That was just something that kind of irritated me, so I don't find myself using that at all. As you can see, it didn't even want to open to my command, so that was a bad thing right there. But yeah, that was just one thing that I had to talk about with the Google Play randomly opening. Also, on some occasions, for some reason, the phone would automatically restart itself for no reason. Like, I'll be just on my home screen, like as you can see right now, then I'll be just doing something on my phone, and then randomly the screen will shut off. I'll try to tap it to wake it back up, and it'll start showing the OPPO logo like it was restarting without me restarting it. So that was another thing that was happening weirdly, that it was restarting by itself. I guess it has a mind of its own. It's like, Eddie, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to do what I want. And that's what honestly, that's what it felt like it was telling me. And then sometimes the music, like I would have my earphones. I don't know if it's just the earphones that I'm using or just the headphone jack, but for some reason the music will stop playing for no reason. And then I'll go to the music app and the music will still be running, the volume will be up, but it won't be playing any music. So I have to reinsert my headphones, take them out and reinsert them again to get it to start playing. I don't know why that happens. I guess it's a software issue again, or it can even be just something wrong with my headphone jack. But yeah, that happened to me. But that was just all the cons that I have. Just to talk about some more cool things that's happening with this phone that I really like is the OS. Now, if we talk about the OS, it does run Color OS, and as you saw right now, I just double tapped my screen to wake it up. Just double tapping and waking up. As you can see, this is my cool little lock screen. All I have to do is shoot the ball into the basket. Ball is life. I just had to shoot that in, and I woke up my screen. And also, it was a good feature on the HTC One. And also, we can close it by just double tapping the home screen, which is a nice thing because as you can see, the layout of the phone is kind of weird. And like I said, my hands aren't that big, so it's kind of hard for me to reach the power button all the way on the other side of the phone. So being able to double tap the screen is a very nice feature. As you can see, it woke up there, and being able to double tap the home button to sleep it is very something that I use all the time. And it also does have some nice features where you can make your own gestures on the phone to wake it up. You can do some gestures to open certain apps, go to certain websites, and just do certain tasks. The ones that I have now is the flashlight and the camera that automatically come on the phone. As I can test it out now, I can draw a circle and the camera will automatically open. As you can see, it worked perfectly. There's my camera and everything worked nice. It just opened, and now I really don't have a problem with that. Also, I can start my music just by doing swipe down. Then my music will start playing, and then I can swipe down again. I have my volume down. I'm not sure if that's why it didn't play. But yes, I can swipe down and it'll start playing. I could draw an arrow either way to go forward and back through my songs. That's just something I use all the time, and I really like that. But yes, Color OS is over top of Android 4.3. I'm not sure why they couldn't go to 4.4 KitKat as a flagship device that's with OS that's been out for a while now. I'm not sure why they couldn't do that. It's built over 4.3 KitKat. 4.3 Android, not KitKat. Wish it could be built off of the latest software, which it isn't. But yeah, it's still a nice phone. It comes with Color OS, and I never found myself using the original theme that came on the phone because I really do not like the way that it looks at all. So I just automatically switched myself to the jelly bean type look that it has on here, automatically built into the phone. It's the thing that they already have, and that's what I did automatically when I got the phone. As you can see here, they have two sets that you could switch to, the one that comes on the phone and this Android looking thing right here that I'm actually using all the time, and it's very nice, and the OS runs very nice, so I really can't complain about that. But yeah, this is just my review of the OPPO Find 7a. If you have any more questions, make sure you leave it in the description. My final thoughts is, if you're not that much, I'd say if you're not worried about having the latest software and you want to use Google Play a lot and you just want the best of the best, I would say wait for a minute before you buy this phone and check out some other phones like the Galaxy S5, the OnePlus One, the LG G3. You can wait for those phones like there and see what those phones have to offer, like the LG G3. That seems like an amazing phone. Can't wait for that to be released. But I would say if you really don't worry about that stuff, you're just looking for a cool phone, I would recommend this phone because it's $500 cheaper than all the other ones, and it works very nice. And for now, I will be using it as my daily driver until I can get my hands on something like the OnePlus One, the LG G3, just the newer phones that come out before I can get my hands on those. I'm really interested in the OnePlus One. So if you guys have an invitation to the OnePlus One, just come on. You gotta hook me up, man, please. I didn't get invited, sadly, but yeah, that was just my review of the OPPO Find 7a. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe for more videos in the future for tech videos. I'm not sure if I'm going to try and get my hands on the OPPO Find 7, the premium version, because I don't know. It's not really much different. All I can say is it has a 2K display, which this one has a 1080p display, but the 2K and 1080p, you barely can tell the difference, in my opinion, on these small screens. But I guess I'll have to try it out. I'm not sure. And also the slight bump in processors. Man, she scared the mess out of me, guys. It was just my sister just walked in the window. I don't know. I'm gonna try and play that back, because that scared the mess out of me. I felt butterflies in my stomach. This video is going not too long, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces, YouTube.